Welcome back to UX Product Design Mastery. I'm Parm Sangha, and in today's episode, I'll be sharing a live Zoom talk, which I did at a design conference last year about overcoming the fear of failure. And in it, I will share some stories and my own experiences understanding and overcoming this fear. So let's get into it. Overcoming fear of failure, lessons from a product designer. Hello, I'm Parm Sangha, a UX product designer, and I'm passionate about tackling challenges and navigating through the inevitable failures that are part of any growth process. Today, I want to share my journey and the lessons I've learned about overcoming the fear of failure. Let's start with a story. One day, I was talking with my friend about his young son, who's a sports fan. He noticed that his son would only root for their team when they'd win. He told his son, "Be careful, or they'll call you a fair weather fan." And so the son doesn't know what that means. He asks, "Dad, what's a fair weather fan?" So he tells him, "That's when you only root for a team when they win and you disappear when they don't. And you switch sports and teams based on who's doing well." The term comes from the weather at stadiums and how fans won't go out to stadiums when the weather is bad. So it's like going to the good weather team and only celebrating wins and being absent from losing. A true fan will stick through the tough times and keep at it even when it's hard. So his son is listening intensely and his face is lighting up as he hears this explanation. And then the son proudly declares, yeah, that's it. I want to be a fair weather fan." Hold on, wait, what just happened? No, you don't. I didn't explain this right. So it was a funny story, right? But it got me thinking, why not? That would be so much easier, right? Switch teams, join the winning bandwagon. Why do I torture myself over all these years, going through years of struggling seasons? Why can't I be a fan of whoever's winning now? It'd be so easy. But it's hard to stick with something when you're not winning, when it's not easy, and you're going through tough times. What is it that can get us through it? What is it that drives us to keep rooting for losers? There is something to be said about commitment and sticking to something you really love, even when it's tough. It reminds me of struggles you go through to learn something new or develop a skill, like drawing. My first job ever was in high school. I worked at a comic book store. I was really into comics. And at the time I thought I'd grow up to be a comic book artist. I filled out tons of sketches and doodles and drawings into books. But getting really good at drawing wasn't easy. Every year we would go to Oakland Comic Con. I'd man the booth and we had time to walk around and show our drawings to artists that were there, get a portfolio reviewed. I'd submit comic drawings every year. I would get so frustrated from the rejection and feedback. I would take it so personally, no matter how objective. I needed to work on anatomy or perspective. There was so much to learn. And the fear grew. Fear of criticism and the fear of not being good enough. And when I look at my earlier work now, I cringe. It was so amateur. But I loved to draw and I kept at it for years, and it took years and years before I got really good at it. After a while, you see yourself improving. Each year there's less real feedback. The last year I went, they said it looked good. They asked me how long it took to draw out a page, and they'd like me to draw their own characters. I finished up high school and ended up going to the Academy of Art in San Francisco. I learned a lot more there: life drawing, anatomy, painting, different media. Made me realize that there's a lot more to art than just comics. And I kept at it, kept improving and learning year after year. I love to do portraits, and years later when anyone asked me to draw their portrait, I could whip it out in a few seconds. They'd be blown away by it, and they'd say, "Wow, you're so talented." But the truth is, talent has very little to do with it. It can be your starting point to ignite your passion, but it really takes hard work and failure and not giving up in order to get good at anything. I've had the chance to mentor a good number of designers over the years, and there is a common question that comes up regarding feedback. It's like stage fright. They're preparing their work for review, or they're presenting to stakeholders, and there's this fear of doing something wrong, or not being able to answer a question correctly or at all, or they fear missing something in the design, fear of not being prepared. And I would tell them, I have those same fears. It happens to everyone, and you have to try your best, but expect that you don't do it right the first time. And it was going through preparing this talk that I realized how important failure is, to be almost embraced, or at least accept it as part of the process rather than to fear it. So you're a designer and you're working on a product or software. Do you care about your work, your craft? What is it that drives you? What is it that you love about the work you do? Find the thing you love about it. What inspires you as a designer? Is it solving complex problems, creating unique interactions, striving for visual simplicity, or something else? Figure out what about your work that drives you, and then commit to that passion. Let that be your inspiration, the thing that drives you through the inevitable failure and tough times. Try your best and don't worry about failure. Failure will always hurt for a while, and feedback is difficult to not take personally, but you have to go through it to improve. And at work, as product designers, we're all here because of feedback and failure, aren't we? We're here to improve the product, but customers, users are complaining about this or that. We didn't build this feature, or that one is not quite right. Imagine what would happen to the product or a company if we were afraid to hear the feedback. We just don't want to hear it. Cover our ears. How would we improve? Would we stagnate? Whether the feedback comes from customers because the company failed, or coworkers in a critique that we have failed, we use this failure to get better. It's this failure that we grow from. And as a company, it's why we're all here. And there is a second side to this as well. And that is when you're afraid to receive feedback, you're also afraid to give it, because you're afraid of being wrong again. So we stop commenting on others' work. Even when they ask for feedback, we don't give it because we fear judgment and criticism. We are stuck in this fixed mindset of being agreeable, being liked, not causing trouble. As designers, we should embrace this feedback to improve and grow. Feedback is a gift. Really, it is a gift. It ultimately makes us better. View it as an opportunity for growth rather than an attack. How would you learn if you didn't try? If you didn't fail and learn something, you'd sit and stagnate. And hearing no and having to find out you're wrong, it really clarifies those other things. It's no. Let's try something else that lets you uncover that true yes. Time out. Can everybody please turn on your Zoom video? Everyone please turn on your video if you feel comfortable and wave to the camera. If not, please type hello into the chat. You can do it. I'll wait. Great. Thank you. I appreciate that. Congratulations. Here's your participation trophy. You did it. Are you proud? Does it feel good? Really, come on. You sure? I don't think so. It just doesn't. Why not? The only things worth doing in life are the things you will fail at. Let's just admit it. That's the truth. If it was so easy that anyone that tried succeeded the first time, is it even worth doing? Why do people push themselves? If I challenge you to do something that is so obviously easy, anyone can do it, why would you bother to try? If there is no overcoming an obstacle or learning a new and difficult skill and expanding yourself, what is the point? What is the point of existence if not to push ourselves to overcome and advance in some way? There is this sort of metamorphosis that occurs, like the butterfly pushing out of the chrysalis. As you build up your skills, pushing against the struggle you go through, the struggle is what strengthens you. It's those that push through the difficult times that really enjoy the overcoming of the difficulties and the eventual success. It takes commitment to something. whether that be something that you love about the team you root for or something about the work that you do. Figure out what that is, commit to it, and know that you will fail, and that's okay. So, in summary, the key points are: expect failure, commit to passion, and embrace growth. Expect failure and setback as part of the process. Commit to something you really love. Find that passion. It will push you through the tough time. And embrace growth like the butterfly, struggling and getting stronger. Being a true fan in sports or a dedicated professional in your career is hard, and real success may not come for a while, if at all. But if you can find something you love about what you're doing, commit to it and accept the failure and setback as part of the journey, you will grow. From the critique and feedback, you will grow. From going through those tough times, you will grow, and you will become so good that someone someday will say, "Hey, that designer is so talented." And you'll smile because you'll know all the work you put in and the failures and struggles you went through to make it look so good. That it was your hard work, your resilience, and your journey through failure that led you to your success. In the end, the failure you face and overcome are the stepping stones to your success. Embrace them, learn from them, and grow stronger. Thank you. So there you have it. That's my full talk on overcoming fear of failure, which I did at a design conference last year. Do you have any questions or comment? Please post them below. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and click on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our upcoming content. Also, feel free to share your thoughts, questions, or suggestions in the comments section below. I'll be more than happy to engage with you and help you grow as a UX designer. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you on the next episode. Take care and happy designing.